Hello everyone, welcome to this live stream, and today we're going to do part 4 of my Van Hemert 251 system. If you haven't checked out the first 3 parts, go check that out. It's basically a continuation, and in each video I'm going to present to you 5 phrases, but in this one even 6, that are part of this big system, which hopefully by the end will be a product which you could buy if you want the whole thing together, but you could also just watch these live streams and get all the phrases like this. And I want to be to start just a little overview of the what the Van Hemert system is. I got a question on my on one of my videos, but I made a very long video about it, so I will link that in the description. I think it's already linked, but in short, it just means that every chord has, instead of thinking about the neck according to caged or pentatonic boxes or 3 notes per string, I'm thinking about the neck in positions in chords. So that means that if I have a major chord, I have 3 positions per major chord, 3 positions per minor chord, and 4 positions per dominant chord. And so the first position of G major would be with my first finger on the root on the high E string, or the low E string, same, and then it's around this fret, so it's fluid in the sense I can move it. And then the third position would be with my first finger on the 3rd, and the 5th with first finger on the 5th, right? So it's 3 positions, 1, 3, and 5. And for minor it's the same, 1, 3, 5, and for dominant it's 1, 3, 5, 7, right? 4 positions. And then every phrase I practice or describe, I try to place in one of these positions, so that if I have to improvise over a chord and I see G major, then I have many phrases I can play around here, around there, around the entire neck, and they all connect that way. And in the progression of the system, or the system progressed and more positions were added because they just were very useful. And for 251s, I found it's very useful to have a couple of different positions on top of this basic system, and that is basically what this 251 system is. So the first 3 videos we explored position A3, 2. So that means I'm talking about the A string this time, so not the E strings, that's already different. A, and we're talking about 3, so the 3rd of the 2 chords, and we're talking about 2, 5, 1, and C, so it's an F with my 2nd finger. So that's a kind of a deviation from the standard thing with the first finger on the note. This time, the first 3 videos was A3 with the 2nd finger, A3, 2. And now we're going to talk about A4, A1, 4. So that means that we're talking about the A string, and we're going to play the root of the 2 chords, so that's a D with my 4th finger. So all the 251s will be positioned here, and usually they also start there. So there we have this D minor shape. So that is the position we're going to explore today, and for this position I only have 6 phrases. So instead of doing 5 now and then have 1 in the next video, I'm going to present all 6. And what I will do is I will play them for you, and then I will show what they would sound like if you use them in improvisation on Coquette, like we've been doing with all phrases so far. So let's just go to the first phrase. This is the first phrase, and you can see it starts on the root with my 4th finger, and the phrase sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 5, and C. A little bit faster. 1, 2, 3. So the nice thing to realize is that you gotta enjoy that slide, right? You don't want to play. No. It's almost like I'm playing. And another thing is, in this position, the nice thing is, if the thing starts on the root, you could also always start on the 9, which is in the same position. My hand is still here, but I'm starting with the E. But let's say I have to play this on a 2-5-1 in F. Right, so then I would put my pinky on the G, because that's the root of the G minor, the 2 chord. And I just play these movements. Or I start on the 9. But visually for me it's still there, right? 2-5-1 in B flat, that would be up here. But for this, the backing track, I have to play it in D. So then we have to put our first finger on the root of the 2 chord, which is in E. Or with the 9, starting with the 9. And the bridge has the 2-5 in G, so I have to start on the A. Or... Okay, so let me demonstrate that on Coquette. Get my backing track. By the way, these backing tracks, they are just on YouTube. So if you want to practice it yourself, just go to the description and you'll find. Don't do it now, do it after the video, and you can practice with the backing tracks. Here we go. Oh, that was nice. Again, that's a bug in the internet, I think. Maybe my phone is on. Oh yeah, my phone is on the downstairs internet. Should be on the upstairs internet. Okay, now it's good. Here we go again. So as you noticed, I played it like it's written in the tab, but sometimes I just play it too early, right? So then, or too late. That's always, you can always be too early, too late with these things. It's even nicer than just playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Why not play 1, 2? So now you're 2 beats too early. So I'll do once more. I'll play 2 A's, and then the first A, I'm too late. I will be 2 beats too late, and then the second A, I'll be 2 beats too early, and you will see that the phrase still makes sense. One, two. I didn't remember if I said it would be too early, too late. So I'm gonna be too late the first, and then too early. One, two. Now too early. So you gotta give yourself that freedom to play around with where you started. And also, of course, give yourself freedom in how to resolve it, right? Because it just ends now, like in the tab. If we're in C again, it ends on the root. But of course, you have to find a line that continues from there. Or whatever you want. Okay, that was the first phrase. By the way, guys, if you want the tab for these lines and every other line that I talked about earlier, or every other video, you can of course print screen them, or you can go to my Patreon, and when you join my Patreon you can download all the tabs, and I think that's worth it because it's so much now. Let's go to the next line number 2. This is a very nice line. I think this line was already in another video of mine, but that was not related to this system. And it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. What I basically did is I combined two ideas, right? So this first idea, see, that's an E major triad. If you played it over G, you get this sound. That's an E triad on top of G7, and that's a nice sound. And then I put in this Clifford Brown phrase. Of course, you don't have to play that phrase. You could do anything else in C, or whatever you want. But now you can practice two different phrases, because this phrase by itself, it's just a lot of fun to play that on major chords. So the whole phrase again: 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to start with the 9, you got. But for this phrase, maybe it's nice to start on the root, because you get this up and down. If you start with a 9, you don't get that. So we play it in D, it's going to be like this. In G. So let's play that on Coquette. So now you saw me be very free with the phrase, right? Change the ending, be too early, change the rhythms, repeat. Now I discovered this thing. That's a nice effect. So whatever you can come up with. Okay, let's go to the third phrase. But before, I get lots of questions about this guitar, and I always forget it, but I want to thank Altamira and Tommy Davy for sponsoring my channel, actually, with all these guitars. They keep giving me new guitars, new prototypes, and this is the brand new TD, which I really like, this guitar. It's not yet available, I think, but it's a great guitar. So thanks Altamira, thanks Tommy Davy for giving me these guitars and for setting them up so great. So let's go to the next. By the way, information about the guitar is in the description if you want to know more. Let's go to the third phrase. Oh yeah, this is a very hip phrase. So this one starts before the bar, right? So 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and. What's this? I don't remember now. Let me see. I have to read the tab, guys. Oh yeah, that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a little bit of a weird phrase, but it's very hip, and a lot of stuff happening, which we're not gonna go into. It just works. It creates a very altered sound. The picking is challenging because of all the sweeps and the double downstrokes. You gotta keep it swinging, right? You gotta still play D, 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 like I was talking about in my timing video. So you gotta keep it in mind. Even if you're sweeping, it still has to sound. Now in D would be, right? I'm just, for people that are curious, I'm not trying to transpose. I'm just remembering the fingerings, the movement of my hand. In G. And you can start with a 9 too, of course. That's also nice. Okay, let's play that on Coquette. Super hip. And I discovered something. You can play nice triplets. If you, on the second bar, play the first note as a quarter note, you can play triplets for the rest. This one I don't play enough. I should play it more because it's very nice. But the thing is, it starts before the bar. So because this is not one of the few that starts before the bar, I think I miss it often when I improvise. Let's go to the next one. This is a typical bebop one that I think I got from Bad Paul. And it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, 1. 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. In D. In G. And the nice thing is, I think it sounds nicer with a 9. 3, 4, I notice now that I'm used to playing it with a 9 instead of. I think that's a little bit harder too. Okay, let's play that on Coquette. Yeah, very cool. I'm not sure now if I got it from Papal. Maybe I got it from Pasquale Grosso. One of those. But if I got it from Pasquale Grosso, he got it from Papal, I think. Okay. Boom. By the way, after I'm done with all the phrases, I'll answer questions if there are questions. So if you have questions, just type them in the chat. It doesn't have to be necessarily about these phrases. And also, if you want to tip the stream, you can do that by pressing the $sign next to the chat. And then I'll actually get a message and I'll answer directly. Okay. Another bebop phrase, I think. Well, they're all bebop phrases, but the typical one that I got, I think, from... also from Papao, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 1. That's nice, eh? 3, 4, 1. In D, 3, 4, 1. Notice that this one doesn't start on the root or the 9. It starts with a what you call this enclosure of the 3rd on the D string even, but it's still in this position. So I'm not thinking on D minor and E minor, so 2-5-1 in D. And if you want, you could start with the root like 3, 4, 1. But I'm just so used to having my hand here now for 2-5-1s that it doesn't really matter for me if it starts like this or whatever, no? So in G would be... Okay, sounds like this on Coquettes. Very nice phrase. Okay, let's go to the last one. This is the most difficult one to place, but I'll have some comments. So it sounds like this. 3, so it starts way before the first beat. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, I'm not sure why there's a slide there. Oh, you could slide. So this is pretty long, and but the thing to take away from it is also this, right? So now I'm starting in the 2nd bar from the 4 end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. This movement. It's very nice, and you can get into the movement from many places. Let's say you're playing a typical gypsy jazz. You could just play it there, or and also the resolution is very nice. That's something you don't hear often on guitar. So great little phrase. So in D, in G, but so I will play the croquette, but I will also just focus on this part of it. Very easy to find, even if you play a 2-5-1 in D. If you play A7, it's basically in this box. Let me play that on croquette. Let me change to the other screen. That's nicer, huh? I have a monitor there now, so I still have to train myself. I can now look straight ahead. I don't have to look to the left. Okay. Oh, ha. So that's the point of these phrases. You have to be free with them. And I bet some of you are thinking, okay, how am I ever going to play these phrases as free as that? But don't forget, I've been doing this for many hours, right? So these phrases that I'm presenting to you, they are not stuff that I just made up for the system. This is stuff that I play all the time. Basically, my playing consists of 3 parts, right? It's these phrases, the 2-5-1s. It's my triplet lines. I made videos about my triplet lines. All the triplet lines I'm playing, there are variations of a couple of things. And my chord solos. And I'm making a series about that now too. So, and I've practiced those phrases for thousands of times, like they are written in the tab, but also varying them, combining them. And that's why I can sound very free with them. But, oh, I got a super chat. Great. Thanks. So great. Now show me that Django GIF. Yeah. Did you see it? Was there a GIF on the screen? Maybe I missed it. Should be one. Was there one? Well, anyway, if you give me super chat like that, then there should be a GIF on the screen of Django playing. But I didn't see it myself now, so maybe it wasn't there. Okay, anyway, let's go to, I think these were other phrases, right? Yeah, let's go to questions. I see there's a bunch of questions, and maybe I can clarify some things for you. One more time, if you want access to the tabs I showed you today, go to my Patreon in the description, and you can download all the tabs for every video I ever made. Let me go to the questions. I have to find them. Sorry, I muted my microphone. I should go here and questions. Okay, let me see. Questions. Peter Smart. Hey Peter. Hi. He says hi. Leroy Heron. Hello. Hi Leroy. Miguel Angel. Hi Christian. Saludos. Hi Miguel. I have been following this series and it seems like a good path. Now I have a few phrases starting from the third of two. Yeah. That was the first three parts. He's talking about the first three parts there. The first three parts are linked in the description if you want to know the links. He says also, I still have difficulties applying them in an organic way. Yeah, but that is normal. I have the same difficulties. When I learn a new line, I have a lot of difficulties applying them in an organic way, but you will never know when you see me play because I have so many phrases that I can already apply in an organic way. But when I started out, the first line, it took me so long to get it organic and very frustrating. But it's frustrating, yes and no, because it is fun to work on the lines with backing tracks or with the metronome, with my timing exercise. Check out my timing video. It's called How to Swing. And then I show you an exercise that you actually should apply to all these lines, because the most important part about playing these lines is that you manage to play them in a swinging way. So that's a lot of fun, because now you have many exercises you can apply to that metronome exercise, and you can play them on backing tracks, and you will start to combine them at one point. It just will take a very long time. I think it should be your goal that for your next jam that you have these two lines that you want to play. And I guarantee you will miss them all the time, but there will be one song in the jam that you will hit one of them almost. And that is a victory. And that's something you build on. So then you try it again. Maybe you play the whole thing. And after you play that 10 times successfully, after you've practiced it for hundreds of times at home, it will start to feel like it's your phrase, and it will become very natural, right? It will start to feel like you've always been able to play that line. And then you will forget where you got it and how you practiced it. That's what happened to me with triplets. At one point, I thought to myself, I listened to myself, okay, say it's nice, but I missed the triplet virtuosity. And then I focused on playing triplets for a whole year, and it was very frustrating. And I never managed to do it. And now, and I don't know when it happened, it's just automatic. The triplets just flow out of my hands, out of my guitar, and I don't even know how I'm doing it. I'm very aware of what I'm doing, but I don't know what happened when I started practicing and when I started being good at it. It just happened in an organic way. But the road to that organic mastery was very frustrating. That's just a reality of practicing jazz improvisation. I always say embrace the frustration. I need a little. Okay. Can most of these lines be applied in other cases where there is, for example, only 2/5, like in Cat? If there's only 2/5 and it doesn't resolve, then I would say no. Hey, somebody subscribed, it's great. Then I would say no. You can't do it. You have to basically play A. Let's say it's E minor A7 and it doesn't resolve to D, then just play some A7 thing or E minor thing, and then the moment there's a 2/5 that resolves, you can play these lines. Because these lines are very, most of them are very altered, so they need to resolve to one chord. Okay, Cantor, he says, I guess what I'd like at a later time is more videos of applying these lines in varying contexts across the standard repertoire. Well, I have this new series I started called, I never remember my clickbait titles, but it's my series that it says it's for beginners to practice jazz guitar, and I'm doing a new standard every week. And maybe I'm not playing these lines per se, but you will see me apply lines that I'm presenting in those videos. Those will be more beginner lines, but you can see me apply them across different standards. But also in these videos, when I'm applying to Coquette, you can still see the process. It doesn't really matter which standard it is. I mean, I could play another standard and you will see that it doesn't change. It's still applying those lines in a very precise way at a certain point. Hi, Christian. What is your advice on improvising? Should I focus on only learning licks? How about improvising different keys? Well, different depends. Are you playing guitar? If you play guitar, different keys are just different frets, right? It doesn't really matter to me which key. A G or A flat is just 1 fret higher. Maybe you have to practice a little bit just to get used to different places on the neck, but we're talking about a matter of minutes, right? After you've already mastered G, for example, then it should only take you maybe 50 minutes to do the same thing in A flat. About what you should focus on. So the only thing I ever focused on was learning licks or lines and chords. Chord solos, very important. I know lots of different voicings and different rhythms I can play the voicings in. That's why I'm making this series about chord voicings. So it's lines and voicings or chord solos for me. And the lines consist of mostly 8th note lines and triplet lines. And those lines I all practiced, but I can combine them and vary them so they will sound somewhat fresh. But I never focused on anything else like theory or scales or arpeggios, never. Not a single minute. I can actually not play a scale even. I did not see the oh, there it is. Okay. No, you're not too late, Cantor. I started playing guitar after 30, so I just practiced my ass off. So you're not too late. I started playing guitar at 32, and I didn't know any technique or anything about guitar. I already knew the music because I played it on violin, but I can tell you right now that the way I play violin is so completely different from the way I play guitar that you're not too late. You could still do it. You just need a lot of practice. People always ask me how much did you practice? Well, there was a time, and I usually practice 4 hours a day minimum, but there were days that I practiced for 8 to 10 hours. But of course, my goal was to be a top level player. If you just want to have fun and do well in jam sessions, I think 2 hours a day for 3 to 4 years, which is still a lot of hours, might do the trick. But focused practice. So you could take my videos and use those. Really like the Dyna video, nice jangles, toggles, style licks. Like the format. Next time throw in one outside. Well, maybe, but the series is for beginners. So when people want to learn more advanced licks, I would point them towards this series. Okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thanks for the 1 super chat I got. That's great. I hope you will join me in the next stream, which probably will be tomorrow, where I'm going to do the chords, the second episode of the chords thing, or maybe the day after, but very soon. I hope you have fun with these lines, and I will see you all later. Bye.